When we think of war, we usually think of the sending out of troops to go fight the war. Operation Magic Carpet shows us that getting troops back home is just as important, if not more important, than sending them to go fight. Separated by vast distances, theater, branch of service, sex, race, and rank, the journey back home at the conclusion of World War II was one of the few things that all American servicemen who fought and survived the bloodiest war in history had in common. When you look at how many Americans came back, which by the way was an astounding 8 million men and women from every branch of the military, you will agree that Operation Magic Carpet was one of the best things that happened during the whole war. Operation Magic Carpet began on September 6, 1945, which was 4 days after VJ Day, also known as Victory over Japan Day, and ended on September 1, 1946, though the return rate was much higher on some days and months, like December 1945. Operation Magic Carpet sent home an average of 22,222 Americans every day for almost a whole year. At the time the idea was conceived, there was still a war going on, and even though Germany and Japan hadn't yet been defeated, U.S. Army Chief of Staff George Marshall knew by the middle of 1943 that redeployment and demobilization could be a big problem once victory was won in any region and planning wasn't done ahead of time. So, Marshall began to work on Operation Magic Carpet, but they had more questions than answers, like where in Europe would be best for gathering troops and sorting them, what American ports and train networks were big enough and available to handle a large number of returning troops, whose ships would bring the boys back to their homes, and so much more. You see, by 1945, the average American soldier had been abroad for 16.2 months, but some had been there for much longer. Even before Japan was beaten, there was a strong call from the public to bring the boys home. Some people even used the slogan, "Home alive by 45 inches" to call for the boys to come home by Christmas. The Pentagon also saw that leaving a large, well-equipped military force in the field without an enemy to fight could quickly turn into a discipline problem that would be hard to handle. This made the decision to bring the troops back even more important. At first, they tried to be civil about it by bringing the Advanced Service Rating Score, which is also called the point system. The point system was made in the middle of 1944 to help the military make a smooth and fair change to a structure for calm and a much smaller army. Under the point system, service members got points for things like the number of months they served abroad, the number of days they were in combat, getting hurt, getting awards or special services, having children, or being married. In theory, if you got more points, you could get back home faster, but that didn't appease the people or the troops. They wanted to come home quickly. These were lives being risked in a war that was already won. Actions needed to be taken now, and not through some point system like they were in school. 500 angry American soldiers met Eleanor Roosevelt when she was in the United Kingdom to protest against it. In a fairly unknown event, 4,000 American soldiers stormed the City Hall in Manila, Philippines, and demanded that the process of going home be sped up. In the end, it was this protest and Japan's sudden surrender 3 months later in September 1945 that pushed Operation Magic Carpet into action quickly. By October 1945, more than 700 ships of all kinds, sizes, and even countries were involved. These ships ranged from tankers, ore carriers, and cargo ships from before the war to huge battleships and boats from Italy and Panama. Even though not all of America's fighting troops would be home by Christmas 1945, December of that year was the busiest of the 11 months Magic Carpet was open, with almost 700,000 people from every service branch coming home. The Magic Carpet numbers grew every month until they were almost out of this world. During the war, American ships sent an average of 148,000 men each month. But after VE Day and VJ Day, aka Victory over Japan Day, more than 450,000 GIs came home each month. From VE Day to September 1945, over 1.4 million American troops came home. This number grew by another 3 million between October 1945 and April 1946. Despite Operation Magic Carpet lasting only 360 days, it was the biggest air and sea lift ever put together and still remains the biggest mass movement of people ever tried or done. That is all we have for you today. Click the subscribe button and the like button if you found this video informative. Also, hit the little bell so you get notified when we post new videos like this just for you. Thank you for watching. Till next time.